breathe in gently. Let your shoulders fall. Let your jaw unclench. And let the tongue rest softly behind your front teeth. The night is larger than it looks from your window. Tonight, we walk into it together. This is Egypt in the year 1799. The sand is cool at the surface and warm an inch below. The air from the Nile is sweet with water. The air from the desert is dry as a page in a book. Where the two airs meet, the French camp breathes, tents like low stars stitched to the ground, ropes humming so softly you would have to put your ear to them to hear. Inside the main tent, a lamp is burning. Its flame leans and straightens, as if it has decided to be disciplined for a few minutes more. Maps lie under Bonaparte's hand, rivers like blue braids, dunes like pale ribs, villages like freckles of ink. He does not only look, he listens with his fingertips. He taps a point where the river forks, and the paper answers with a tiny tremor, as though the Nile has a heartbeat that can pass into a map. He is not alone. There are soldiers outside, breathing slow, as soldiers do when they know sleep is a duty. And there are the savants, Monge, steady as a surveyor's pole, Berthollet, who can smell a new reaction before seeing it, Fourier, whose pencil is a thin metronome for the patience of the world. Monge sets a black stone on the table. It is a piece of polished basalt, the size of a baker's tray, flat as a held breath. In the daylight, he says, it is a stone. And in the night? Bonaparte asks. In the night, Monge says, it is less of a stone and more of a listener. They lower the lamp, and the tent fabric becomes a soft planetarium of stitches and shadows. On the stone, a hair-thin line wakes. Not a letter, not a number. Something like a line drawn by the inhale and exhale of a chest. The line brightens, splits, returns, like a fish in a clear canal, coming back to the same bend in the water again and again. Fourier places his fingers at his wrist. He nods, then shakes his head, then nods again, amused by a private joke. It is keeping time with me, he says, and then with you, and then with all of us together. Berthollet whispers, not text, time. Bonaparte lifts the stone with both hands, as gently as if it were a child's head, and says, bring it outside. The stars are a better audience than oil. Out under the stitched dark, the camp sounds smaller. Boot leather becomes a hush. Horses are large shadows that blink. The lamp sits on the sand and draws a short, obedient circle of amber. Beyond that circle, the map of the night is accurate and kind. The line on the stone grows steadier. You can feel it if you imagine the pulse at your own wrist. Feel it and let your breathing join it. Inhale slowly. Exhale slowly. Let the beat and your breath agree to be neighbors. On the horizon, something happens that is not a light and not a movement, and yet it changes the horizon the way a thought changes a face. It opens, not like a door, more like a page turned by a careful hand. Flat, shallow bowls of glow slide up from the dark, one behind another, like the scales of a great fish lifting into air. They do not reflect the camp's lamp. They do not reflect the stars. They hold their own light, a soft, metallic blue, the color of a thought you have not yet told anyone. Bonaparte gives things names, quickly and privately, so that he can speak to them. He calls these glasswings. From underneath the glasswings, a ramp of light pours downward and touches the sand as if the sand were a table set for it. Not ladders, no ropes, just a gentle slope that would hold a foot if a foot were brave enough to test it. And there, where the light meets the earth, two beings wait, tall, slender, skin like watered milk, with a faint lantern inside. Along the ribs, thin slits breathe vapor that smells of salt. At the sides of the head, oval windows, dark, unreflective, like pieces of night sewn into a face. They do not bounce light back. They accept it and keep it. No one speaks. Thank you for spending your evening with me. If you're still awake and would like more quiet stories, please subscribe to the channel. If you've already drifted off, just keep resting. But the vapor at their ribs begins to pulse, and it pulses like this. 2, 3, 5, 7. And a longer silence. Then again, 2, 3, 5, 7. And a longer silence. Monge is the first to smile. Primes, he says, but so softly, the word is only a shape on his lips. On the stone the thin line widens, and becomes not a line but a weave, a slow fabric of brightness. It is not Greek, it is not demotic, it is not hieroglyph. It is a fourth way, a fourth line, crossing where the others cannot cross. The ramp feels no hurry. The beings feel no hurry. Bonaparte feels no hurry, and this is perhaps the most astonishing thing he will feel all year. One of the beings drifts forward until it is arm's length away. It raises a long hand and lowers it without touching, and yet Bonaparte feels the pressure under his skin, not on it, the place where a person keeps his name when he is not saying it. The stone brightens, as if it has finally remembered what it is. A shallow bowl of metal, no seam, no rivet, unfolds at the edge of the ramp, as if it had been watered there. Inside it is dark, but when you hold your breath, you can almost see stars twitch within the dark. Not sky stars, but little maps of when, little crossings that are not between places, but between moments. Gift, Berthollet says, though he does not know if that is the word. Mirror, Fourier answers, though he does not know if that is the word either. Bonaparte takes the bowl into his hands. It is warm without burning. It is heavy without weighing him down. He holds it to his chest. It answers with a thump that arrives at exactly the same time as his heart. He laughs, just once, surprised to find that he can laugh in a night like this. The glasswings lift their ramp. Sand accepts its old silence. Stars step back to their assigned positions. It is late, and yet time feels wide. Back in the tent, the lamp is lit again. The stone looks innocent and dark, as if it has never met a person. The bowl sits in a cloth-lined box, with little slits cut into the lid, so that it can see the sky if it wishes. Write what did not happen, Bonaparte tells Monge. Write it all. He sleeps. You can sleep now if you like. Let the breath go in and go out, with the new steadiness of a metronome that know one wound, because it does not need winding. In the morning, small differences wake first. The water in a jug at the tent flap. Halos and clears with an odd rhythm. 2 beads, 3 beads, 5, 7, like someone playing with a necklace of time. The horses exhale on the same count without practicing. Ash in a brazier pulls itself into long lines, like notes learning to be a song. Bonaparte walks a little way out into the dunes, bearing the box with the slits in the lid. He asks the bowl for directions without using a voice. It shows him not a shorter path, but a right one, and that is worth more. That night they go, a small group with no banners and no drums. The dunes lie ahead like sleeping animals who will not be bothered by careful feet. Every few heartbeats the sand seems to hold them up, as if a hand were under it. The stars look like themselves, but if you look long enough, you see that a few have stepped a finger's width to the side. And that is enough to make you feel the map of the sky is new. In a low hollow between 2 pale ridges, they find something that does not belong to weather. Parallel bands under the surface, darker than the dark around them, the way closed eyes are darker than a room at midnight. If you stand above them, your weight is held with kindness. Fourier kneels and presses his palm to the sand, thoughtful. It remembers, he says, chuckles. The ground keeps a diary. You can breathe with it. You can count with it. 2, 3, 5, 7. This is not mathematics tonight. This is a lullaby disguised as mathematics. Let it soften the place behind your breastbone. Another day, another night, the same slow patience. To Giza. The pyramids are not only big, they are exact. They are long patience, hardened into angles. Bonaparte enters the Great Pyramid alone. He tells no one to follow because some rooms want you to arrive by yourself, even if friends are waiting outside. Inside, the air is cool and old. Stone holds the heat of 100,000 afternoons, but gives back only the chill of having kept them. Footsteps go out into the darkness and do not come back as echoes. Not because the echoes are lost, but because the stone is a mother and will not let them cry out. Take a slow breath. And if you're still awake, tap subscribe. That way we can fall asleep together next time. If you're already dreaming, that's perfect. Just keep drifting. In the king's chamber, he does not light a lamp. He stands very still and allows the bowl to answer the room before he does. The answer is not a flash. It is a pulse. The same long arithmetic. 2, 3, 5, 7. A longer space to breathe. You can breathe with him now. Let the inhale be a patient hand. Let the exhale be a patient river. He comes out with eyes that look as if they have seen a horizon that is closer than most. The savants do not ask him what he felt. They are kind men. They leave a page in their notebooks blank so that something invisible can write there later. Word runs through the camp of another stone, the Rosetta. 3 scripts on one slab telling the same decree, like 3 voices harmonizing the same tune. Mauge suggests a night experiment. The basalt listener is set beside the Rosetta in the dark. If you were there, you would see it. The official stone casts a shadow on the strange one, and in that borrowed shadow, a 4th line appears. Not in letters, not in numerals, in patience, drawn so finely that it shines. Fourier writes on the margin of his blank page, "If language is the rhythm of thought, this 4th line is the rhythm of waiting." The bowl warms in Bonaparte's hands and cools the way a small animal settles on a person it has chosen. Days rearrange themselves like playing cards. Some battles arrive, quick and bright, and leave. Some battles never take place, because the road that would have led to them is gently forgotten. A flooded canal is never met. A city too fevered to visit is admired from a mile away and left to rest. Thoughtful. The greatest victory, Bonaparte says once, is the one no one counts because it did not need to happen. Soldiers do not know why orders come when they do. They only know that departure is later than usual and somehow on time. Fourier, walking beside Bonaparte at dawn, when shadows are their longest and yet softest, says, "A key is only a key until it is a door." Curious. And if there is no door, Bonaparte asks, then the door is the person carrying the key. Fourier says, and smiles the smile of a man who sleeps well when he can and thinks clearly when he must. Nights pass and remember themselves. You are allowed to rest your eyes if you like. The story will carry you. It is patient. It is made of patient things, sand and breath, and the beating of a heart that does not ask questions it cannot comfort. When it is time to leave Egypt, the sea takes the company into its slow arithmetic. Waves are long sighs with edges. Ropes find their music again. Under the hat brim, Bonaparte looks like a person on a coin, and also like a person in a chair, thinking about a room he left and a room he has not entered. The bowl speaks without sound. Not to the ear, to the left side, slightly higher than the pocket where a letter would be kept. It says, "Now," not loudly, clearly. He presses it to his chest for a moment. Then he sets it aside, or so it seems. Perhaps he is the one set aside. Perhaps he is the cupboard and the object is the room, and both have decided to change places. The basalt listener has nights when it does not glow anymore. It has earned them. The fourth line appears less often, or perhaps it appears only to those who are tired enough to notice it, which is to say, those most in need of it. What remains is not brightness. It is the habit of breathing together. It is the gift of knowing that maps do not only point to where, but also to when, and that when is not only length, but rhythm. Sometimes Bonaparte touches the part of his chest where a pocket would be, and finds not a pocket, but an echo, and the echo is the comfort that comes to people who have held a sleeping child, and then, when they wake up, feel the warmth still there. You, listening now, can do as he did. Let the breath be a path. Let the ribs be a doorframe. Let the quiet be a room that fits you. Now we return to that first night to borrow an ending. The ramp of light bowing down to the sand. The two glasswings hovering like pages lifted by a slow wind. The two tall beings, their sides breathing vapor in prime numbers. If your eyes are still open and you'd like more soothing stories, subscribe and softly ring the little bell. I'll whisper when a new episode arrives. For now, close your eyes. Good night. The stone widening its line into a fabric until it means not this or that, but yes. You were not there, and yet you are here. Because here is not only a place, it is a time in which two things agree to meet. The bowl is the narrator of this story. It has no tongue, it has you. When you find yourself pausing at the end of an inhale and waiting just a moment before letting it go, that is the fourth line writing itself in you.
The Rosetta and the basalt were only reminders.
Translation happens inside a body, between a beat and a listening. The ship's decks, the tent ropes, the pyramid stones, the paper maps, the sand, all of them learned the lesson of waiting, and of moving when it is time, and of resting when doing nothing is the most generous act. You can learn it too, without trying.
Breathe in slowly to a count that feels kind.
Let the breath leave slowly to a count that feels kinder. 2, 3, 5, 7. There is always a longer space after 7. Use it.
You do not need glasswings in the sky to be visited.
The sky behind your closed lids is large enough. When you breathe evenly and you let your thoughts line up like camp cots after midnight, something descends that is not a craft and not an angel and not a dream.
It is the agreement between your heart and time.
It is the moment two different roads are allowed to be the same road for a few steps. If you sleep now, you will carry the map with you in a quiet pocket where it cannot be dropped.
If you stay with me a little longer, we can walk the camp again and count what did not happen and be grateful.
There is the jug with water that caught the moon a little too carefully and spilled it back in beads. There is the horse that waited for a hand on its neck and did not need it. There is the brazier whose ash wrote a curve that no one read and that still mattered. There is Monge's blank page. You can be the person for whom events make a little space, as if they were slightly embarrassed by their own impatience, and step aside to let you pass dry-footed where a river thought it had you. If you are still with me, come stand by the tent once more and let the lamp go dark. The fabric will remember its stars. The stone will decide to glow or not glow, and you will not make a plan for it. The bowl will rest where it rests, and the place above your heart will feel like a window that can be opened and closed without a latch. 2, 3, 5, 7. The longer space. Use it for kindness toward yourself. Outside the camp, the dunes lie like book spines. Beyond them, Giza is a patient geometry. Beyond that, the sea breathes like an animal that has never learned to be frightened and therefore does not need to be brave. You have done enough for today. You have listened to a night that is not on the calendar and learned a language without learning its letters. If someone asks you in the morning what you brought back, you can say, stillness that knows when to move. You can say, a key that became a door. You can say, a fourth line that reads me while I sleep. Let your eyes be heavy now. Let the corners of your mouth loosen. Let your hands be allowed to do nothing. When your breath and your heartbeat agree to walk side by side, you are inside the story fully. There is nothing more to do. The bowl is content. The map is folded. The lamp goes out. Sleep. Sleep in a good time. Sleep in a gentle measure. And when you wake, the road will be waiting, not to hurry you, but to welcome you. The way sand makes room for a foot and forgets to keep the print. Good night.